Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 104 of the Carnivore Podcast. I'm Sadie, I'm your hostess. I sat down to record this like 2 hours ago, and then life happened. Such as my husband came home, went over to my neighbors, and that took a while. So here I am. Recording a little late, but nevertheless, it's all good, right? We're going to start at the start with the finished objects, which I have two, and I'm kind of excited about that. So, the first is my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for the month. They look super tiny, but they are in fact not. It's only because you're used to seeing my super huge feet. I put them on my arm, they look much more pronounced. From tip to tip, it's 7.5 inches, and then we have a 5-inch cuff. A little bit of a hiccup, sorry. And these are for my mom. This is the limited edition Desert Vista Dyeworks colorway for completing it last year. Something about raining or showers, cloudy showers, raining showers, whatever. It was limited edition. You got it if you completed last year's 12 pair in 12 months, which I did. And it came with a contrasting heel-toe color. And this just seems really like my mother, so yeah. And because I'm going there next week, and I figured, why not? She's got tiny feet, and so it's a quick knit, and she'll enjoy them. She always wants more socks, so these going on the pile to go to Canada, because there's a pile of stuff. Then I finished my secret knitting, the second baby surprise jacket I've done in the last little while, and it looks something like this. You do holes on both sides, and then you sew them up depending on which gender is which sex is announced, or what have you. This is out of the first draft. Is their Vonnegut sock, which is a superwash merino bamboo nylon blend. I believe this is called the Great Hunt. Don't quote me. It's one of her Dresden Files colorways. But I picked this particular color because in my stash, it was the one that reminded me the most of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, which are a Canadian football team. And my cousin and her boyfriend are very, very into the footballs. So, Rider pride going on there. I had thought to do an applied I-cord edge, but I really just like the way it turned out this way, and I figure she's not going to know the difference. Why bother? It's an extra. I would have had to go out and get white yarn because I don't think I have any, and it looks perfectly fine the way it is. I quite like it. They just announced the pregnancy, and she is due in March at some point, so this will also be going to Canada to be going to her. So I finished two things. I'm pretty pumped with myself, not gonna lie. I am on a finishing thing. I've been going through the giant thing of whips and going, do I need this? Do I not need this? Am I gonna finish this? And then I ripped out I was gonna make a shawl for my mom out of some scruffy nerve herder that I had dyed, which is gonna come back into the shop probably. Want to dye another round of that because I can now. It's past the 6 month. So I have 2 skeins of sport weight for a shawl for my mother, and I was trying to design a pattern and I just gave up. I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna frog this whole thing. So I frogged it, I recaked it, and now it waits. I'm going to pick something out once I've gotten more things knit down. Because I went through and I found I had three projects like caked, skeined, with the pattern, with the needles, ready to go in there. And I was like, these do not belong in here. This is the whip basket. Only whips go in this basket. So I brought them in here and I put them in a basket in here. Because the whip basket stays in the living room, so I know what I'm working on. The non-whip baskets are in here where, you know, projects either come to wallow or eventually get knit on. I do need to move the blanket out to the living room so it gets worked on though. Anywho, I went through it, so I frogged that, and then I pointed out some other projects I was working on to myself and was like, why am I not working on these? So, subsequently, I picked this guy back out, which is from the Selbstbewahrter, Biography of a Knitting Tradition by Terry Shea. I am knitting the Anamore 13 pattern, which looks a little something like that when it's all said and done. And I'm pretty sure I showed you I had the first mitten done. I'm not sure if I showed you I had the first mitten done, but I did finish the first mitten minus the thumb. The thumb remains, and it's a patterned thumb, which shows you how much I love my husband. These mitts are going to be for him. He picked out the pattern, he picked out the colors. So there's mitt number 1. And this pattern that's right up here, this thing, it's a variation goes on the thumb. You started at the bottom, as you can see, goes all the way up the thumb. Pardon my bad. I know I need to take off the nail polish. I don't think I will be putting more nail polish on, because even though I've been using the 7 free, vegan, cruelty-free, the Pacifica, it's, you know, no parabens, no whatevers, is still too smelly for me. I can't handle it. So probably not going to be doing any nail polish anytime soon, but I finished this one, and the second one is started, and we are this far. So I've got the ribbing done, I've got the first pattern, and I'm into the big pattern, so the big pattern takes up, that's where we're at. And I do have the thumb. I did separate for the thumb already, so that's where I'm at on this side. And I'd love to finish these. And as I picked these up, yeah, I'm really into the stranded knitting of mittens right now. So I'm gonna roll with it. Why not? So for these guys, I am using Sweet Georgia in the Tough Love sock, which is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon in the black plum colorway. And it looks a little something like that. And then for the gray, I am using Knitter's Nightmare, the giant base, which is 100% superwash merino, in the Grey Havens colorway. Looks a little something like that. And they are working out quite nicely. This is working up quite nicely as well. I'm just really enjoying it. I've discovered that this apparently is where my jam is right now, is colorwork. Colorwork mittens. Colorwork mittens. So you'll see. And I might add that at least 2 of the patterns I've got ready to go are colorwork. One is a mitten and one is a knee-high sock that I want to do. But seriously, I don't know why. This is just perfect for my brain pan right now. And that is in a lovely bag from a viewer, which has a bunch of pretty fish on it. And so that is on the needles. I'd like to finish that before I travel, because then I'll feel better. Sorry, a little bloop on my screen. And there's gonna be a lot of drinking. I'm told I need to hydrate more, so I'm trying to hydrate more. It's a thing. Then this is in my Tangerine Designs 80s bag, which is super 80s. I was out coffeeing with my friend Tabitha the other day, but before that even, I had pulled this back out because I was in a mood, and now I'm all about, as I said, the Selbstbewahrter is being knit on a 2.5mm needle. This one, I believe, is on a 2.25mm needle. And this is the Bristol Ivy pattern. The Piece de Resistance Mitts by Bristol Ivy. And It's either the left or the right, it doesn't really matter. And after I had showed these, a friend of mine, Mechanical Doll, had asked me, did you invert the colors on the thumb? And yes, I did. I screwed up because the way it is in the pattern, the dark is light and the light is dark, and that was messing with my head when I started these. So I actually inverted the colors on the thumb, and I'm just going to keep going with that. The other mitt might not be. I am at the decreases for the top. Just get everything out of the way. So we have our fist of power, and we've got our stuff. And so then on the other mitten, this goes on the front, and then this goes on the back. And yeah, so that's where I love how these contrast together. Resistance is not futile. I'm just really into the color work mittens. This one is being knit out of Two Guys Yarn Company in the Key Lime Martini. There you go. 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon. Picked this up at SSK a few years ago. Initially, I thought I'd do brioche, and then you know what happened? I didn't, and I'm okay with that. That's where my Post-it notes went. I was looking for those. And then my other color is Alchemy Yarns of Transformation in the Juniper colorway, which is 100% superwash merino. And these two skeins of Alchemy are from my husband because they're each 50 grams. So I may end up with a skein left over. It depends. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But so the first skein, the first ball, I still have quite a bit. Still have quite a bit of a 50 grammer. So I might be able to get away with just using one, which would be intriguing. Because then, you know, I could use green for another mitt. Another mitt. More mitts. I know, there's so many in my queue. Okay. How many mitts does one human being need? I don't care. I'm just going to keep going. It's like socks. There's a bunch of Lord of the Rings ones I want to do. I have the Biatch ones ready to go. There's the Oh Dear ones I think I might try and make. So, no shortage of cute mitts. And where will I put this? I will put this over here. Then, because I'm easily swayed and I'm a joiner, Tracy started working on her, well, she talked about, she planned, she signed up for the Hohi Locatelli's fall knit along, and I told you I was joining in because I had the perfect yarn and I had the perfect pattern, which is the Cozy Neighborhood by Hohi Locatelli. As you can see here, it's in red. It's got a cable running down the front, it's got this gorgeous box pattern, and then it's got ribbing, and I can wear it when I'm pregnant, and I can wear it when I'm not pregnant, and quite frankly, that's all I really need in my life right now. And I thought I was in a sweater mood. I'm in a mitt mood, but I also enjoy sweaters. Let's not throw the baby with the bathwater here. So I'm using Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL Sport, which is 100% blue face Leicestershire, in the Haida colorway, which is part of the Raven series. And I have 3 skeins of this. Last time you saw it, I was working on the back, and I believe I had just joined the pieces. Well, okay, so this is gonna be hard to show you, but the back is done. The back to the end of the sleeves is now done, and here you can see the neck hole. So I cast on the front and I did all the shoulder shaping, so technically it sits like this, and that's where I'm at. So the shoulder shaping is done, and now I'm about to, I got my little gargoyles from Andre Sue Knits. Aren't they cute? I love them. Let's see, can you see them? Oh, that's his little butt. There's the little front guy. And I've got them in for where to place the cable. So that's where I'm at on this one. And for this one, I'm using the called for, I believe this is 5.5, isn't it? 5.5? No, it's 4.5. It's 4.5 millimeter needle, or US 7. And I'm using the yarn wolf from my hubby because it works. And then I've got everything else in a little reusable shopping bag from Disney because that's what works for me. So I really want to work on this, but I've been waylaid by Mittens and wanting to finish things that are in my basket, and Mittens seems so much easier and quicker, and like they will actually get finished. And the other thing is, okay, so there's the shawls. I haven't worked on any shawls. Then I've got the Nazreen, which I have the front done, and I'm starting the back, or I have the back done and I'm starting the front. Then I have the breathing space, which is probably not going to get worked on until like next year at some point because it's sized for my pre-pregnancy body. And what else is in there? There's the Jessie top, which also may not get worked on for a while because it is also sized for my pre-pregnancy body. I was talking with Tracy about it, or messaging with her about it, and she was very positive about it. She said, whatever. She's the perfect person to talk to for this stuff because she said, whatever, just set it aside. Whatever, just start something new. You know, she feels no, like, she has like, what, 25 sweaters going? No, no conscience towards that. I need that. I need that in my life. So I really need her. She's my podcast wife, if you will. And so I'm just basically writing those two off. That they're probably not going to get worked on for the next year because they are not sized for my current body or my body for the next year at least. So there you have it. And then I started something out of the Expectant Little Knits book. Chic Designs for Mom to Be by Suzanne J.E. Tourtelot. And I'm doing the Duville Car Coat by A.L. de Savitaire. And it looks something like that. Here's another picture. Goes down nice and low. I figure it'll be great for being super pregnant and then breastfeeding. And I ordered some yarn for it. Put that there. From Webs. I figured I wanted something, and I'm about to say something really controversial. You ready for it? Clutch your pearls. Are you ready? I wanted acrylic because I'm predicting a lot of baby puke and poop and pee, and I want to be able to throw this thing in the washing machine. And I know you'd say you can do it with Superwash Merino, but I don't think you've seen my husband's ability to shrink things that can't shrink. He's magical in the laundry department, and I know acrylic he can't kill. So I wanted acrylic. I went on Webs, and I ordered enough for the Duval, and then the other one I wanted it out of here, which I ordered yarn for. And I talked about it earlier, so this is nothing new to you. Where is it? See, the downside to putting a tab on everything you'd like to knit is when you actually go to knit things, finding it is not easy. I could just look it up. Wouldn't that just be easier? There we go, 54. The Mother Hoodie. And it looks like that. This one was knit out of Noro, but I'm not that crazy. I don't have that much. So I ordered yarn for that, but for the Duval, I am knitting the largest side, which is the extra large, which will fit me. And I am knitting it out of Sidar Super Soft Aran, because it said Aran weight yarn. And this is in the shade 0924 in colorway F022, which is, as you can see, a very bright blue teal. And I like it. This one is the one that's on 5.5 US 9 millimeter needles, and it's massive and doesn't have a lot of shaping, thankfully. And that's the back. That's where I've gotten to on the back, and I'm enjoying it. And yeah, it's gonna be a great I'm super pregnant slash breastfeeding jacket, I think, because it's gonna be cold and I'm gonna need jackets. Although right now everybody's cold and wearing sweaters, and I'm over here like in a tank top, and I'm just really warm all the time. So this one I want to get finished sooner rather than later, but it's big yarn on big needles. So, and the yarn I ordered, let's just go right on into the miscellaneous. I'm sorry, I'm really snotty too. I caught a head cold from my friend's kid. I catch things so easily. I was watching my friend's kid so she could do some stuff. And he's not an age where you have to actually actively watch. He's like 10 or something. So we put on the Disney Channel and he played with the cats. But I think that's where I caught the head cold. I'm fighting it off. Digression. So I picked, this is the other thing I picked up from Webs or yarn.com for the mother hoodie. Like I said, I didn't do the Noro, but this also is a gradient, and it's a gray to black, so it's very me, because I figured when I looked it up on Ravelry, a lot of people had said that they could wear this hoodie even not pregnant. So I figure if I can wear this hoodie through pregnancy to not pregnant, whatever, then yay. And so I picked out the Tacky Select Navajo, made in Italy. It is 53% wool, 47% acrylic. This one does have to be hand washed, I believe. Where do you tell me? It doesn't tell. Oh, it's got the little thing. Yeah, cold water wash, no dryer. You can iron it. So I could probably, but I love it. And I got this during the sale, and these were closeouts. So for the Sidar and for the Tacky, I think I paid $60. So $60 for 2 sweaters for someone as large as myself is a steal. Paying $60 for a single sweater is pretty much a steal. So excitement. So I do want to get knitting on this relatively soon because I want it. And it's going to get cold. Whether or not I get cold will be a whole different ball of wax, but it's going to get cold. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to, well, while we're just talking about stuff, I intend to cast this on. And so I've had this one printed out for a little while. It's called the Langos. I also have the Anders printed out. So these are the next 2 that I'm going to be knitting, but I haven't picked out the perfect colors for the Anders yet, but I do have the colors picked out for the Langos, and it is the cutest thing. It's by Knit and Knot, copyright Julie Chanudet. I think she's French. I think, maybe not. Either way, it's paid for pattern on Ravelry, and it's a cute little baby jacket. Looks a little something like this. And so one of the color, I think probably this is going to be the stripes, which is Tulip Festival, Knitter's Nightmare, in the Siren Sport 80/20 Superwash Merino Nylon. It's got some reds. The pinks aren't too pronounced. The green is definitely there. The orange is there. The yellow is there. And I think that it's overwhelmingly enough. The pink isn't that pink. It's an orangey. It's a very orangey pink. So I'm not worried about it, you know, being too effeminate. And then I've got the Soft Like Kittens Burnished Sport, which I've been hanging on to forever, which is 100% Superwash Merino in Prototype 165, which is this gorgeous shaded blue. This is going to be the main color. And, hey you, don't go away yet. There. So those are going to be that. Have you figured it out yet? Have you figured it out? I've got the blue t-shirt on. I'm knitting more blues for the baby. That's right, we're having a boy. We found out on Wednesday. And yeah. Still letting it settle in that there's even a sex associated with the fetus that I'm incubating, but it's kind of cool. And the grandparents have gone crazy. Shopping has ensued. And now I can kind of tailor my knitting more, which is where I was getting to, because I was like, I don't know if I want to knit a lot of lace, just in case. You know, and there's some really more masculine lace, I guess, and there's some really feminine lace, and not that I really care one way or the other, as I've always said all the way along, but, you know, now I can use more blues and purples and stuff, and not have to think, oh, I should throw some pink in there or something, which is great. There will be a boy at the end of January coming into our lives, which should be very interesting. And what else? I think that's everything knitting-wise, the things I plan to start. Pretty much everything I plan to start is probably related to baby knitting. And I have to finish the blanket I started, which is black, gray, and blue, so that works too really nicely. Yeah, I have lots of plans, but first I am in a let's just get this whip pile down a little bit, because it's just too much. It's too much. And then I am traveling. I'm going to be in Canada for a week, and so that's one thing. I've got to plan the knitting for that. Probably going to be socks and mittens, knowing me, or baby knits. And yeah. The only other thing I have to say is that there's currently a sale in the Yarnivore shop, or not the Yarnivore shop, the Knitter's Nightmare Yarn shop, which is with the code FALL15, all capitals, FALL15. You get 15% off any sport weight yarn that's in the shop, and that lasts till the 27th. Now, anything that is purchased between the 26th and the 2nd of October may have a slight delay on shipping, so be aware of that. But other than that, yeah. If you need sport weight yarn, because it tis the season for hats and mitts and cowls and all kinds of things. So either until I sell out of all the sport weight I have currently in the shop, or until the 27th, 15% off with the code FALL15 at knittersnightmare.com. I am going to try and get some dyeing done. I don't know if I'm going to get any done before I travel next week. This weekend we're steam cleaning all the rugs, so that's going to be intense, and just a lot of stuff to get done. Lots of stuff to get done. We're going to be in baby prep mode soon, so yeah. Going through everything, rearranging everything, making the spare room no longer the yarn room, and figuring all that stuff out. But in the meantime, let's hope when I come back to you in 2 weeks, I have some finished sweaters and some finished mittens and all kinds of things. I hope you've had a great last couple weeks of knitting. I hope you have a great few more weeks of knitting, and I will see you again. Bye.